Well, good morning, everyone. Here it is Friday morning, just after 5 a.m. Up, Adam, ready to go, coffee in hand. So, quickly today, getting into the Friday topic, I want to talk a little bit about pushing yourself. So, a lot of times people can confuse, adapt and modify, quality over quantity, and use that as excuses to not necessarily push themselves. So sometimes we'll be like, okay, we're going to do 2 to 4, run loops, and people will say, well, I'm just going to do 2 loops because I just want to do 2 quality loops, and that's it. Even though they feel good, they have plenty of time. They just do the 2 loops, and they may be done. Or I have people who like, oh, 2 loops. Well, my body feels a little bit heavy, doesn't quite feel right, so I'm just going to adapt and modify. And you have to learn as a coach is the type of athletes that you're dealing with, because people have different personalities. So you have to figure out that some people will use adapt and modify to not push themselves. Some people will use quality over quantity to not push themselves. Now, there are some people who will just always do the most no matter what. There are some people who will say, well, 4 loops? Well, I'm doing 4 loops. And what they may do is they may forego the point of the workout, forego the form or the technique or the pace, because they just want to get the quantity up, the volume up. And then you have some people who, if they have a hangnail, it's an injury, they have to adapt and modify. And you have other people that'll be running with a limp and being like, hey, everything's okay. 'Tis only a flesh wound, if you're a Monty Python fan. So one of the things as a coach is to learn how to work with different types of people, figure out where they fall on those spectrums of how they view quantity, quality, and adapting and modify. So you want to learn about those things. What I like to do is really kind of equate people's expected results with the effort inputted. So in other words, if you have expected results of, say, running like a sub 25K, if those are your expected results, but the quality of your workout, goes down because you're just, you've been running for a long time, and you're just like, well, I just got to keep running the miles, and you're not getting this personal best, or you're not achieving the goal because you're focused too much on the quantity and not enough on the quality. So you're going up, you're running all the loops, but you're not changing your form, so you're not going to work on getting faster, you're not changing that effort. And on the other hand, then you have some people who say, well, I could never run a marathon. I want to, but I could never run a marathon. But then they always do the minimum amount because it's always like, I feel a little heavy. And what there is that disconnect, between what you say you want and the effort you put into it. So it's really hard, to understand and to know yourself and to be able to push yourself, be able to motivate yourself within those parameters. So to really know what is the right amount, what is the right quantity when you have a range, and at what point do you adapt and modify, and at what point do you push through? How do you achieve that new level? And that's one of the great advantages of working with a coach. So over time, a good coach will learn that personality and will be able to work with you and kind of say, hey, listen, I know you feel like doing this, but you really need to be here. Or they're going to come back and say, hey, listen, you don't need to go run. I have somebody going to do, I don't know, like their 18th marathon. And I'm like, you don't need to go do a 20-miler. Like, we know you can do the marathon. You've done it a bunch. Let's have you do some shorter runs to keep your body nice and healthy. And let's just work on keeping the strength, keeping the posture, keeping the form, and having a successful marathon. And it's hard sometimes to get through to that, to say, like, listen, you don't need this, do this. So at the end of the day, the question really becomes is your output consistent with your goals? Are you putting into each workout a formula that is going to equate to the end result and the outcome that you want? Are you doing quality workouts? Are you doing the right quantity of workouts. It is a balance of both. And you can't just look at one. You have to look at both of them. And if you need help with that, I'm right here, you know. So shoot me a question, comment, concern. Don't forget to like the video, share the video. Always appreciate that. And, you know, it's good to have knowledge, but if you can't spread that knowledge, it doesn't do a lot of good. So I do appreciate all your help. Have a great Friday. Have a great run. And I'll talk to you later. Bye now.